Hi there. Thanks for choosing to watch our system overview video. This video is going to view and discuss a lot of the features that exist or that are available with our platform and our software, kind of at a high level. We have other videos that go into features and capabilities in more depth on a case-by-case basis, but just wanted to put this out there so that those that are interested or looking at our video or our software for the first time, or maybe first time users, can get a good handle on what it can do and where basic features and capabilities are located within the software. So I'm just going to go through each tab here as we go through this video and kind of touch on things really quickly. And before I get started, just know that all of the features that are available in our software can be used either on an a la carte basis or together as a whole system. And so just depending on anybody's or each person's unique needs, they can kind of custom fit the different capabilities to their needs. And primarily, our software serves the advertisers, publishers, and networks in the affiliate marketing space. We have other companies that use it that do support and that also do telemarketing, call center type sales, and it's a really good fit for that as well. But primarily we do serve that affiliate marketing industry, just as a heads up. All right, let's dive into it now and get through this. So right now I'm on the dashboard, and this is the page that shows up or comes up as soon as you log in. And this page can be customized with all kinds of different widgets. So these four here that are here now are widgets that we've added through this customized dashboard link. So you can click on that, pick a different widget you want, decide how you want it to be grouped, sorted, and give it a name. And as soon as you click save, then it's going to show up on the dashboard. Of course, you can delete it, collapse it, do all kinds of things. But it just gives you quick access to important information right when you log in. And we noticed that a lot of our clients use this as a way, kind of their key information, right? So they'll have this pulled up on their computer or on their mobile device. And they can just refresh it quickly to see different stats across their campaigns. Okay, so pretty basic. You can also do a search. This is going to be here throughout whatever page we click on. Just cover that real quick. Do a basic search or go to an advanced search. Okay, the Customers tab is next, and the Customers tab displays all the different customers that have come in from your campaign. So if you're an advertiser and you're using our software to host and manage your campaigns, as people come to your campaign and make a purchase, their information is going to show up here on the Customer tab. And it's got everything you could ever need to manage this customer. Contact information, a history of all the different billing that's gone on in their account. This is a demo, so a lot of this stuff, of course, is just fake information, but you can see that you can refund from here, you can enter chargebacks from here. If one of these charges hadn't settled, you can void from here. If you were pre-authorizing any charges, you could capture those or see when they were set to capture automatically. And then, of course, if you're charging your customers any kind of recurring charges, whether that be monthly, quarterly, whatever that may be, then those are going to be listed here as well. Other things you can do with customers in our system, of course, is going to keep track of any of the sub-IDs, click IDs, reference IDs, IP addresses, contact information. That's all kept up here based on where it came from. If you share the data with other people through posts or APIs, it's going to keep track of all that in a modal here that you can look at. And you'll notice as we go throughout our system that a lot of our features are centered around data monetization and conversion optimization. Okay, so I'll try and touch on those things as we go through it. But also here you can have your customers sign electronic agreements, create those under the e-signature tab, which we'll get to in a minute. They show up here, then you can send them to them. They can be integrated throughout your campaign to make them have your clients view and sign them throughout your campaign. If necessary or needed, you can also see which products they've purchased. And there's other options for adding customers to a negative database or marking them as fraud. You can upload files, resend welcome emails, and of course take notes if on this account if needed. Leads is the next tab, and it's very similar to Customers tab. The difference is the data showing up here refers to data that has not been, that didn't buy something from you. Now, you can kind of tweak these settings on your own as you set up your campaign to decide whether a record should go into the leads area or the customers area, unless they're making a purchase. If they're making a purchase, for sure they're going to show up in the customers section, but other than that, you can kind of decide. Primarily, data that comes into your campaign where they're not making a purchase will show up on the leads tab, and a lot of times this is referred to as partial data, excuse me, or just lead data. Okay, but again, it's going to store as much of the information as it can collect as possible, related to the click, related to the submission. If they submit a form and we get their name and email, it's going to store it in here for you so that you have access to that. Of course, you can manage their contact information, add notes, upsell them, all kinds of things right here. Another thing I want to show you is that we have what we call data tasks. And you can do this both for customers or leads, but you can set up, and this is relating to the monetization again, you can set up triggers to distribute your data to different places or different users or even different partners, which we'll review here in a minute, based on all kinds of different options. So for example, this is just a Campaign X task that we've set up as a demo. And you can come in and you can say, okay, on a nightly basis or in real time, we want any, let's say, any newly created record that comes in via the offer, the campaign, okay, instead of the lead import, and that has a status of, let's say, new, and that came from these 4 partners and this offer, to be distributed to this particular data distribution profile. And this refers to a post that's going to post data out to a separate system. Potentially, maybe it's going to assign data to users in your system. Maybe if you're selling data to call centers or other companies, it might put that data in their own account plus post the data to them. You know, all kinds of things or options that are available with these data tasks. Okay, and that's something that you can do, again, both for leads or customers. Let's go to the Partners tab next. Explain this. So the Partners tab is where you're going to set up accounts for companies that you interact with on whatever basis. So maybe it's an affiliate that's sending traffic to your offer. Maybe it's an advertiser that you're going to send traffic to. Maybe it's a call center that's buying your data. You know, whatever the case may be, you're going to have different relationships with different companies for different reasons. And in any of those cases, you can set them up as a partner, and then through the different settings here, you can decide what kind of access and what kind of capabilities or features you need to give them based on your relationship. Okay. We have, as you add new partners, you have the ability to either do it manually, or you can, through our online form, copy and paste a link to your partner and have them fill out the form that looks much like this to create an account in your system. And then as they do that, there's a welcome email here that you can customize as well to let them know that they have their partner account has been created. And that's going to go out if you create that for them manually, or once their account's been activated, as soon as you as soon as you activate their account after they fill out the form by themselves. Okay. So lots of settings here. You can have them sign electronic agreements. You can grant them access to offers. If you're an advertiser and you're going to be let them drive traffic, you can set payouts, for example. This is where all that's done. They're going to drive traffic to this offer. You can decide how you're going to pay them and at what price, whether it be per impression, click, lead, sale, you name it. If there's multiple pixels, that's not a problem either. So anything and everything related to, like we said, advertisers, publishers, networks, call centers, all that kind of stuff can be set up here. Now, if you're selling data, for example, to a call center or some other company that's buying your data as you generate it, you can create them an account, and as under some other settings that I'll show you here soon, as that data gets allocated to them, it's not only going to potentially be posted to them if you set that up that way into their own system, but it'll also show up in their own partner account. So if you were to log in as them, then you might see under, this one doesn't have a leads tab, but under there you could potentially see the leads that you had allocated to them through that post. Okay, so that's how that works and what the partner tab is for. And again, you can, through the profiles, access profiles, you can set up what tabs. As you noticed, that one we logged into was missing a bunch of tabs. That's because their access restricted them from having some of those features, and that's all part of what you can customize. All right, let's move on to the web services. The web services tab is really where you set up your different offers and your different campaigns. So if you're an advertiser, first, let's talk about that. Then you can come in here and add as many offers as you wanted, specify what domain they're going to be using, put them into a category, give them a description, and so on. And then you would use this Pages button to physically upload the pages of your offer. So our platform can not only host your pages, but then as information is entered into those pages or clicks come to those pages, then as we talked about under the lead and customer tab, it's going to store any data that is collected from those pages. So you don't have to tap on or tack on a different system to capture that data or report on it. It's all built into this single system. So as you upload your pages here, there's all kinds of options that we're not really going to go into the nitty-gritty on right now, but kind of every option under the sun to decide whether or not certain fields are required or certain products are being sold, or does this page, once it's submitted, send out an email, or does it post data to a third party? What page should the pixel fire on, or pages? Do we share customer lead data with a partner? Do we not let search engines crawl the offer pages? All kinds of settings and options here to help make the management and modification of your pages a lot easier than would normally be if you were to program those pages one by one with a software engineer or a developer. So try and take a lot of that extra work out of managing those pages by putting those settings into a UI that you can easily turn on and off and change to your liking from one day to the next. Okay, a couple other things here. Assets is for uploading your videos and images for your offers. Filters has to do with turning on filters or data validation settings for data that's coming into your pages. And there's a lot of them here. And again, not going to go into it right now, but all kinds of options that can help with fraud prevention and other issues that might come up based on different needs and purposes that you have set for your offer. You can also generate a link in Pixel to give to your affiliates from here. You can give a suppression link out if you're going to be doing email traffic. Lots of other things listed there. But you can have your affiliates set their tracking pixels. We can pass whatever information they want to send to you in their link, whether it be an affiliate ID, sub ID, or a click ID, or any kind of transaction ID. They can pass that, and then we can easily pass that back to them in their pixel. And pixels can be iframes, scripts, postback, image tags, I mean, you name it, we can handle any kind of pixel that might be out there. System also manages, we talked about suppression data. You can import suppression data from a previous list. You can export suppression data. You can auto-deliver suppression data. Say you're working with 4 or 5 mailers and you want to have them receive a weekly update of the suppression file. Simply add a new email here and set up their email address and the subject line and so on. Campaign management is something that's more specific for networks or publishers. So if you're one of those, fit into those categories, this is where you can set up links and choose whether to, how to redirect the clicks that are coming in to the various campaigns that you might be running traffic to, whether to, set filters based on geolocation. If it comes in from this state, send it to that link. If it comes in from another state, send it to this one. All kinds of settings to help you track and manage where your clicks are going as you're sending traffic to different campaigns. Okay, let's talk about, next let's talk about e-signatures. Really, this is where you can set up a bunch of different agreements, and that can be an insertion order. It could be a advertising agreement. It could be, like we have here, a refund resolution agreement. If you're an advertiser and you're giving your customers refunds, but you want them to sign an agreement before you send it, you can add as many different electronic agreements as you want, and then use them throughout this system in a lot of different ways, whether it be in your offer or in a member area where they log in to access digital content. It could just be something you send them manually to sign, like an insertion order. But it works very much like a DocuSign or an EchoSign, where they get the agreement, and then they can either sign with their mouse or create a e-signature and click with their mouse. And then once it's done, it'll email them a copy. They can print it, stores a copy with their customer record or their partner record, depending on who you're sending it to. So it's kind of an added bonus that some other systems in this industry really don't have, but we've kind of included it because it's been quite useful in a lot of different ways. So that's what that is. Reporting is pretty straightforward. We have a ton of reports, and they're very, very robust. Let's just run a sales report for month to date to give you an example of what these look like. So lots of options of types of reports. You have charge reports, traffic reports, campaign reports, data sharing reports. I mean, you name it, there's a lot of them here, and each one of them have some sub categorizations too. But generally the way these work is you pick a type of report, put in a date range, and then select how you want to group the report to get your data. So let's just group this one by offer. Then we can either pick just a couple, we can select all. That's up to you. Run the report, and then since this is a demo, there probably won't be a whole lot of data that shows up on this particular report. But the reports all kind of work the same, wherein you get your results, and then off to the right you have some additional options to view or export the information. But then you also have this magnifying glass where you can then further regroup any particular line item down another level and down another level, and can continue to go on infinitely until you kind of can get down to the nitty-gritty of what you're looking for on a particular day or idea that you have in your mind as far as what you're trying to find or learn about from that report. And the fact that you can export the data too makes it really easy to use Microsoft Excel or another system or software program like that to then further categorize or view the information from the report. One of the ones that I really like that I'll show really quick on our traffic report, and of course we've got every click, conversion, lead, customer report you can think of, but one that's kind of unique I think to us is this trends report, and it's got a lot of information on it, so sometimes it can take a little bit of time to run. That went pretty quickly. But basically what it does is it helps you see as you're receiving traffic or sending traffic, depending on what kind of tracking and reporting you're getting back from offers that you're sending to, or if you're hosting the campaign pages directly within our system, you're going to get a lot of information about the traffic that you're sending to that offer. So it breaks it down by mobile, tablet, and desktop, or you can view them all together, and then you can see what the points of failure are. This particular demo offer only has 2 pages and not a lot of stats, but let's just say that you're getting a whole bunch of visitors to the entry page, but then nothing to the success page or vice versa. Then you know, hey, my entry page is really not performing well, so we need to fix that. Now, most offers have 5 or 10 pages, and so you can look at the different points of failure and figure out where you need to optimize certain pages. You can also look at this trends report by hour, by weekday, by day, by month, by geographic location, and on and on and on, to help you pinpoint different things that are either not performing well or that are performing well, and then try and exploit those to your benefit. Okay, so the reporting is pretty robust, and that's all built into this system as well. Resources is really where you set things up. So depending on how you're using the software, you may need to set up products that you're selling on your offers. You may need to set up emails that you're going to send out when someone makes a purchase on one of your campaigns or submits a page. You may need to set up, of course, gateways for processing charges, distribution profiles like we talked about, to distribute data out to a variety of different people or places or companies. So all of those things are built in as well. And on our gateway account side, for processing, we've got all the features, bells and whistles built in to make it really easy for you to load balance charges across multiple MIDs or gateways, to use sticky MIDs, to use cascading MIDs, to specify individual descriptors based on which MID was used to process the charge, and so on. But the one thing I want to touch on before we move on to the next tab is this section called Data Distribution Profiles. And this is related to distributing data either to users or to partners that might be trying to monetize your data in one way or another. So first thing I'm going to talk about is this inbound partner distribution profile. And this is where you can set up allocations to have data get sent or allocated to partners that might be buying your data. And not only are they buying it, but you want to help generate inbounds into their call center. So what you can do is you can create these allocations where you set up multiple tiers, potentially. Maybe you only have one tier. It's totally up to you. And you say, okay, today, initially I want this company, IM, to get 100% of the data until they hit 100 records. And then as soon as that's satisfied, now we're going to move to tier 2, and we're going to give these 3 companies, let's say they're going to get 40% of the data, and this one's going to get 20% of the data, and this one's going to get the difference, which is 40, I believe. And then these people are going to get filled up. Okay, and you can continue on and on and on to allocate data to different companies or partners based on the caps and the percentages you specify here. Same thing for tomorrow's allocations. As soon as midnight hits, tomorrow's allocations will become today's allocations, and it'll start over. And the benefit to this is you can set up what we call inbound info to specify company name, email, phone, address, and even some custom information that then can be displayed to the person buying on your offer, so that, say it's a phone number, as soon as it could say, hey, thanks for buying. To learn more about our products and services, call this number. And then it has a phone number typed in here. And that number displays to them because they got assigned to, in this case, that was IM. Okay? And it'll just allocate and rotate through automatically for you in real time. And so it makes it really easy to distribute data to different companies that you might be working with to help monetize your campaigns and the different records that you have coming in. On the top of that, we have user management, which works much the same way, but instead it's distributing data throughout users that you've set up in your system. So that could be sales reps or call center reps that are inside of your own call center, and they then can have, each of these users can have their own login, and under the leads tab, see the leads that are getting assigned to them based on percentages or even based on certain things like location. In this case, we've got a filter set up that says Sarah gets 100% of anything that comes from Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, or Iowa. All the others are distributed this way. So that's another kind of nifty thing that the software can do to help in your efforts to follow up with your leads and monetize that information or those records more. Okay, preferences is kind of where you set up all your users and the different access that you want them to have to data and settings in the system. And you can customize your theme. You can set up custom data fields if we don't have enough fields by default that you need for your purposes, and you can add additional ones that will then show up for a lead or a customer record that you can type information into. And then we also keep track of system usage, which is how we charge for our software. So you can always see what your month-to-date usage is and what your last month usage was. So that's kind of it at a real high level. And I know we went through that pretty quickly, but hopefully that gives you a better idea, a better understanding of what we can do and what our software is capable of. We have other videos that are specific and more in depth on any particular tab or feature. So look for those if you have more questions, or of course you can always email or call your account rep and get your questions answered that way too. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.